In this video, we are checking out Polygon, a free-to-play game that you can find on Steam that was released in 2020. I personally thought this game would be very interesting because it had some Battlefield vibes and looked like it could cater to the budget gamer, well considering the hardware requirements that were listed on Steam. The minimum requirements being an i3, 4GB of RAM and a GTX 460, or AMD equivalents. However, if you are a budget gamer, please keep in mind that some users have reported really bad performance even on better hardware, crashes and stuff like that, but I think that's due to the nature of this game still being in early access. And although there are rumours about it being abandoned, I did actually see there was an update just yesterday as of recording this. Now, some people are saying that the devs aren't really that bothered about it because, well, the microtransaction system within the game is not actually earning them enough money. And there is a grind element that you can bypass in this game if you do buy into the microtransactions. It's not exactly pay to win, I would say, because, well, you can still grind to get what you want. It's just if you buy into the VIP system that this game's got, you will in fact unlock things at a faster rate because you get bonus XP, you also get more credits, and faster progression to the battle pass. Now, one thing that I do really want to talk about, which is a very important thing to talk about when it comes to this game, which is the intrusive anti-cheat that is implemented in the game. If you read the reviews on Steam, you'll find that someone tried to search up the words hack in their browser, and the anti-cheat actually closed their browser, or closed the tab, one of the two, but the main principle here is that that's way too intrusive. The major thing an anti-cheat system should do is just stop known hacks being injected into the game, not keep a track of your current activity, especially online. I can imagine this happened when you had the game open, but still, it's one step too far in my opinion, and something that you should definitely know about before considering playing the game. The devs have addressed this though, and they've said about, well, there isn't any cheaters actually in the game at the minute. Not true. So basically what they're trying to say is that the trade-off is worth it, but kinda not so, because I can think off the top of my head of one way to bypass this anti-cheat system, and anyone that actually plays FPS games probably knows what I'm thinking of, although I will not say it out loud, because as you know, I do not condone any form of cheating. I think if you do it, then you have no life. Okay, so I think I got the most important things out of the way, so let's now talk about the gameplay, if those issues are still not too bad, and well, if you can look past them. So my first impressions of the game was, well, kinda true. It does play out a lot like a Battlefield game, cause Conquest is the main game mode that you're gonna get into. This is your typical capture the points, like a big domination game if you play COD for instance. There wasn't any vehicles however when I was actually playing. This is something about the trailer that I think is slightly misleading. Also, the game environment itself does also look a lot better in the trailer than when you're actually in-game playing. However, don't get me wrong, the game environment's still nice looking, well, especially with the art direction that they did choose for the game. Performance, I found that the game ran decent enough for me, that I had no real issues, although there were a few times during gunfights that the game did skip, and it was skipping at the most crucial parts, meaning that I would just die as a result. Again, this is a thing that other people have addressed in the Steam community. This isn't just an issue that I'm facing. So because it plays out like a Battlefield game, you'd think there'd be some kind of squad system in this game, right? For when you want to bring down the pain with your amigos, your buddies, your friends. But no, sadly there isn't any kind of squad system in this game. And to be honest, this game is not really realized in that way. There doesn't really seem to be any kind of class system in this game. All players kind of have the same roles, which is capturing the points. The movement system feels fine to me when I'm playing. There are a few moments though where you do feel kind of stuck in the mud effect. This could be on objects around the world, and it's pretty strange really considering that you can sometimes clip through objects as well. Not in the way that you totally pass through them, just that your gun might go into a wall or something. Now honestly for me, in any FPS shooter, the most important part is the gunplay. Now some people really like the gunplay and they have no issue with it. Me on the other hand, I'm not really that big of a fan of this gunplay. In the footage I am using keyboard and mouse, and you will see how much I'm struggling to actually aim properly, and this is mostly due to the inconsistency of this game. It feels like there's some acceleration and de-acceleration, and actually feels weird between the ADS transition. Like sometimes your hipfire doesn't actually match up to your ADS. I do appreciate the amount of recoil in some guns, and maybe that's what people are talking about when they say they enjoy the gunplay. Because let's face it, a lot of shooters nowadays are not adding enough recoil into guns, and honestly I can't stand playing FPS games that you can shoot guns like lasers, especially with fast time to kill. It just feels so cheap. So although I couldn't quite get my aim to where it needed to be in some gunfights, I would say as a whole the gunplay is passable. You could consider it better than some AAA titles because they tend to have more arcade style gunplay. It's not all bad though. There is a bit of an adventure aspect to the game of exploring all the maps, finding ways to approach, well, a whole group of campers, because man, there are a few campers in this game, let me tell you. There's some reward factor for getting those moments and doing those moments. Taking down multiple enemies can feel quite satisfying too. The gameplay, it's not all bad. Now for anyone like me that sometimes likes to chill with a controller, I will tell you now, keyboard and mouse is the only way that you can actually play this game. I imagine that's not going to affect the majority of you anyway. I just thought that was worth pointing out, considering that, well, I'm a controller player too nowadays. I do like to show that footage as well. In the last 30 days of this review, there has been an average of 351 players. By no means of the imagination is that like a big player count or a big population in game, but for a lesser known free to play game, it isn't too bad. Okay, so let's sum it up. What's my final thoughts on this game? I think it might have a place for you if you are a budget gamer and your system isn't quite strong enough to run something like Battlefield. This might be alright for you, you might enjoy it. Also on that note, it could be interesting to jump in for a few hours, but I definitely don't see this being a long stay game, something that people really want to be invested in, and I think that is surely echoed by, well, the player population and that 350 player count. The game is still in beta, so we do have to give it some leniency. However, there are some performance issues as well, an invasive anti-cheat system, and I think the cons outweigh the pros here, and there probably are better, well, free-to-play FPS games and that experience that you could have with something else. Anyway, that has been my look at Polygon. I hope today's video has been informative. If you have any thoughts, feelings to share of your own, then please do so. You could be helping someone out in the Tech Evolve community. Don't forget to like the video, also get subscribed if you are new to the channel. And with that said, I have been Tech from Tech Evolved, and I will see you in the next video. Wait, why did I do it that way? Goodbye.